Hey y'all, I hope you're doing alright tonight. Well, today, this morning, whatever it is for you, it's tonight for me. I'm excited to share my setup for 2019 with you guys. So to start with, I'm outlining my level 10 life here, and I chose 8 categories instead of 10 because 2 of them just weren't working for me, and so I condensed them together and whatnot. I love making the circles, and filling in circles makes me so much happier than checking off boxes for some reason. You'll see at the end, I'm pretty consistent in spreading these all out, but it's a nice checkup every year to remind myself that I need to focus on everything in my life, not just my business. I have a bad tendency of doing that. So here you'll see I am using the stencil again on my next spread, making circles for my project trackers. I've split them between my writing goals on the left, and I had to remind myself that I am not a magician and I cannot just magically produce a shit ton of words, because I had made this much fuller before and I had to cut some of those back. But still, they're pretty damn lofty. So were last year's though, and I will put up a comparison here in a couple minutes so that you can see the type of completion that I reached last year. I also have 2 projects in my 2018 bullet journal that I'm going to continue filling out over there instead of in my new one, because if you look at it, I don't have enough space for it. I mean, come on. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get it all done this year. I'm really pushing for it. But the In the Air anthology that's coming out in April is still in my 2018 bullet journal, and Conduits, which is scheduled for January, is going to stay in that journal as well, because I have plenty else to fill out over here. I did, however, pull over 2 of my projects from last year into this year's writing and editing. My Loving Red prequel and the Pocket Watch Simon Sisters book, both of those are moving over with me because there's no way I'm going to finish that in the next 2 days. So they came with me. Now I'm going to send you off to the music for a few seconds before I get on to my next bit in my journal. Alright, next I have my 2019 overall goals. And you will see that those circles on the last page only take up a little bitty piece of my overall goals for this year. And you thought I was crazy on the last spread. You don't know nothing yet. But like I like to visualize my writing the 107,000 words that I'm hoping to write next year in those circles, as well as the editing process, because I like to see it broken down that way. But writing and editing, the fun part of running a business or in publishing press. But I have a lot of goals that require a lot more grueling research and administrative tasks, which fill out a lot of this left-hand page again. But they're necessary, and I'm getting better at them, and so I will continue pushing to do those things. On the second page, I've listed more personal goals, like learning how to composite art for covers. I'm working on it. I'm getting better at it again, still not perfect. I also have some nice fitness goals, which I am super excited about. I've got my husband a power tower for his birthday, and so he's been teaching me how to do assisted pull-ups, and I've done 2 workouts now on it, and man, my back is sore from that. But I can't wait to do a pull-up all on my lonesome. It's going to be so awesome. I'm going to also be pushing myself through a 5K. I'm almost there as well. I can do 2 miles running is my top at the moment, at a decent speed, so I'm excited about that. I never thought I would actually genuinely say I have enthusiasm for running. Seriously, if you had asked me 7 years ago, when I first started lifting weights, throwing those heavy-ass 5-pound weights around, and they were heavy at that time, if you asked me at that time if I would have enjoyed running, I'd have laughed in your face, spittle and all. Now, the change is interesting. Okay, I'm talking over other spreads. For the next couple of spreads, I am pretty much just setting up outline pages and brainstorming for my projects of the next year, or over the next year, and 2 for my year after that. I also have my novels in their own traveler's notebooks, which I can crack open and share with you guys. If anybody's interested in seeing the whole planning process for writing, editing, publishing, marketing, you let me know. I am happy to share. And I also have a spot for some online courses that my husband has been advising me to make, and so we'll see how that goes. I've been having a lot of fun ideas for this to span amongst all writing levels that I encounter, from remedial writing to polished creative writing and whatnot. Alright, I am being long-winded. I apologize for that. So, next section that we're talking about here is my more business plan. And yes, I'm a dork. I feel like planning out at least 5 years, and you see I have 6 here in advance for my business. Keeps me more on the ball. And you should really see my writing plan, which is scheduled out to currently 2033. And yes, really, I am serious about that. I have way too many stories in my head that need to come out, and I need to plan them accordingly, or I'll never get there. And I feel the same way about my business. Anthony and I have so many ideas for anthologies that I need to plot those out, and then trying to fit my writing in there, and so I've got it in this weird mishmash, as you'll see on the next 3-page spread. It's a lot, and I used a lot of time to plan this out, and a lot of boards and sheets and color coding that created this list here, which is bare and minimal, even though it doesn't seem like it. But believe me, lots and lots of papers. If you want to see what that looks like, you let me know, and I will take you on that rabbit hole journey down my crazy when I don't want to work and want to procrastinate, and I think planning is still being productive hole of mine. I'd be glad to show you guys that. But I'm going to send you out to the music so that we can speed through this and I can talk about my next spread. See you then. now you can see I'm doing my personal and author blog plan, and again, I used a lot of other paper and whiteboards and whatnot, and color coding to get me here, and I have a year-long marketing setup in my traveler's notebook that helped me be sure that I can get all of the things I wanted to write about for each one of my projects out there. And you'll notice the repetition here from my writing project or my yearly project page that I've got all of the publications for this year in there to be sure that I market them all properly, because that's important, guys. When you run a business, you market yourself by writing. Woohoo. Alright. I'll be switching over to the next page here in a second, where I have a really simple setup for books that I plan to read this year. I only have 11, which used to be what I read in a couple weeks, back when I was 18 to 22, but now I read so much for both of my jobs, guys. Seriously, it's impossible to read for pleasure a lot of the time. Maybe I just feel guilty for not being productive. I don't know. I should really think of it as a way to refresh my own creativity, and after a long time of pulling teeth, when I sit down to push myself to write my words, because a lot of the time that's what it is. It's pulling teeth and it's pushing myself. Anyways, in the next spread you can see that I have a really simple minimal spread for my yearly word count tracker. I plan to list my goal versus my actual word count versus keeping running total. The next section was just a little brainstorm for my website and book rebrands. I launched a new site last year with my new logo, and I need a lot of work put into it, yet I have character pages and all sorts of things that need to go up. I also want to revamp, but not overhaul, the Transmundane website. Now I am working on my quarter planning. Before I get into my January setup, I used these pages last year, and I found them really helpful when I remember to use them. October, November, December got really, really busy. I got sick and all these other things, and so I stopped logging those in. But now that I'm caught up, I will be more vigilant, and I will actually find that this tends to help me be more focused on doing work that produces results rather than things that I just think are cool. So here we go with that. So I have my stats and my sales page along with my future blog, and I track a lot of sites and online presence, including one that I've made for my mom and her website, and I built her a store as well. She designs and crafts custom stained glass pieces, and her work is super beautiful, guys. It made it totally easy for you to make her a website that it goes on and on about. And surely I'm not just shamelessly plugging my mom's work, because I wouldn't do that, would I? No. But I'm going to leave a link in the description box below. Anyways, if you're interested in looking at her stuff, because again, she's awesome. She's been doing it for a long time, and I'm jealous of her talent there. Alright, so finally, I've got a quarter one goal and quarter plans for the month ahead. You, again, see a lot of the same projects popping up, and that's really how I break down my projects and keep myself accountable. And it's not about motivation, it's about sticking my nose to the grindstone, and I'm gonna get back to that after, who am I kidding? It's 9 o'clock at night. I'm gonna go get ready for bed and stick my nose to the grindstone tomorrow. Alright, stay tuned for more Plan With Me blogs, videos, and things about writing, reading, creating, publishing, marketing, and the like. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and give me some tips and tricks and ideas about how you plan your projects in your busy, busy lives. I hope you have a good night, or a good day, just a good time. Be well, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.